that's intriguing as Jason Taylor, Pro Football Hall of Famer. He has been rumored to be, possibly even joining his old team, the Miami Dolphins, as a member of their staff, but he is going to stick with the Miami Hurricanes instead and has been hired as the new defensive ends coach, as you see there on that graphic. So talk about a recruiting pull. Talk about a guy who can say, like, yeah, I was in the NFL, and then I made the Hall of Fame. Like, I am one of the greats of all time. He is going to be the new defensive ends coach. Like I mentioned, he had been rumored about to be perhaps joining the Dolphins staff, but apparently he really enjoys working with Cristobal and working with the Hurricanes program. So quite the little niche he's found himself in, and that's got to be good for Miami to sell their program to defensive ends, I would think.
I mean, he's one of the best, and you always wonder about, and some former players become coaches. Some of the best coaches maybe never played the game. But you always wonder about those who made it look so easy. Not that it was easy to get to where they were in greatness. How can they translate that to somebody else who may not be as talented?
That's what I think about. I mean, Jordan was an insanely hard worker, and I don't know if he has he's better off being an owner and being able to maybe bark out what he wants, because I don't know if today's player would respond to Michael Jordan in the way that he works and not that they don't work hard, but his particular manner of working and pushing is probably a little bit different.
Well, at times you could consider him almost as a bully.
Yeah. So I don't know if
that's a psycho, but I mean, those who he was that way too, some have come back now, and they all won rings because of him.
But I also, I've thought this about John Elway. Like, John Elway, to me, probably a better executive, right? Because he has it, especially when it would come to coaching quarterbacks. Like, if he's sitting there, okay, listen, when this guy hits the turn, I want you to let the ball go, and it should be there right away. And he's like, well, it's not. And he's like, well, why is it with you? Well, God gave you the best arm ever. So it's maybe a little different for John Elway. He had talent that other guys have to, even the really great players don't have what he had physically in his arm. So sometimes it's hard. And Jason Taylor's kind of done it very mellow. I think that, he was a GA on the staff last year, I think, essentially.
Analyst,
yeah. But he's been a GA, or he was a GA somewhere at 40 years old. He was going and doing that. So he's done it, how most normal people do it, right? Like, he's gone up, through it to learn how to do it. So I think he'll be fine. He was a DC for 2 seasons at St. Thomas Aquinas. Yeah. So that's where he was prior to joining Miami.
They made more talent there than he might have at the University of Miami.
Well, not in the NIL era probably at this point. But, yeah. So, anyways, that's just a cool note. You just see a guy who's had a Hall of Fame career, who's given back to the game and now working his way up. So he's gone from an analyst at Miami to now defensive ends coach. By the way, while we're talking